as you just mentioned to me before we started to record, we'll have more coming up in the next few weeks on recruiting. Kind of a bit of a silent dead period right now, but a couple big weekends coming up, but we don't know exactly who's going to show up at this point.
Yeah, so it looks like March 26th is going to end up being one of their bigger weekends. They wanted to get guys in during spring practice, and so did have a big visitor last week that stopped by David Hicks. He was on spring break and on his way down to see some family in Houston. So he stopped by for an A&M practice, and just it was the first time he had a chance to see them in kind of a practice setting, and he's a massive target for A&M and in the upcoming class. So for him to get the chance to see Terry Price and Elijah Robinson kind of go through a practice, I think was good for him to see, and the feedback coming out of it seemed to be, really good. Talking with some other people this weekend. But other than that, they'll have Levius Overton coming in for a visit on March 26th, along with his brother. That's a big one. He reclassified from the 2023 class up to the 2022 class. So he's going through his visits now and in hopes of making a decision later this spring. And, that would kind of take up the last two spots that A&M has in their class for the 2022 cycle. But obviously Levius Overton's one of the top defensive linemen in the class. So, they'd still love to have him. And he does plan to play with his brother. And so, they're kind of a package deal. So those are a couple of the big ones. And then, a guy like Javian Taviano, who's a top cornerback in the class, is planning to be at Texas later this month. And then also said he wants to get back to A&M probably later in April. Didn't have an exact date of if that'll be for the spring game or what date that'll be for, but he's planning to get back. And there's some other guys too. There's a 5-star receiver, Jalen Brown, out of Gulliver Prep that has been looking to make a trip for a while. And so, they'll, I'm sure, try to get him on campus soon as well.
An early crystal ball projection from your colleague there at 247 Sports, Steve Wiltfong, has Mr. Hicks going to Texas A&M.
So I think
the best player in the country
right now. It's really Oklahoma and A&M have kind of been the two that are battling it out, and it's neck and neck between those two. Texas is the team that Hicks grew up rooting for, and so can't really count them out. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. He's not planning to make a decision until the Under Armour All-America game. So still, a very long way to go in this one.